The pearl is the oldest gem. It's been with us since the beginning of history, as far back as written records or anyone can remember, because it's the only gem that actually comes from a living creature. It comes from an oyster, and an oyster eats like this. It opens and closes its shells, and it filters thousands and thousands of gallons of water, and it sifts the nutrients out of the water. Eats tiny little nutrients like whales do. Now, every now and then, maybe a little piece of rock or coral or a little crab or something might get lodged into the body of that oyster while it's open, while it's eating. And if that becomes lodged, first what the oyster tries to do is expel it. It tries to, push it out. And if it can't do that, it does something so miraculous. It encases it in a protective sac, and it begins to layer that irritant with thousands and thousands and thousands of layers of pearl material, or pearl nacre, it's called. Until finally, after a couple of years, it has created something of great rarity and beauty, a pearl. And I just love that. I just love that. That's such a healing metaphor. We have choices at that point in how we're going to deal with that challenge or that irritation. Does it mean the bigger the irritant, the bigger the pearl? Maybe. Depends on what you do with it. Depends on how you react to it. And that's what's exciting, is it's our choice. We have the choices of how we're going to respond to those challenges in our life. We know the metaphor of the butterfly is another wonderful metaphor from nature, where, the lowly little caterpillar turns into a chrysalis and then becomes a gorgeous butterfly. So it's a metaphor for transformation. But nobody has really talked much about the pearl. And I thought, boy, that's just amazing, because to me it's even more exciting, because an oyster takes a potentially fatal irritant. I mean, that could kill that oyster. And instead, it transforms that. And not instantly. It's not like that. It takes years for a pearl to form. And that's the same with us, I think. It takes time for the real pearls of our life to develop. But that irritant is being layered and layered and layered and layered. And we do the same thing. An irritant comes into our lives, a challenge, and we kind of layer it. We kind of look at it from different points of view, and we try to assimilate it, and we try to understand it, and we mull it over, and we work with it. And to me, that's like that pearl being layered with thousands of layers of beautiful pearl nacre, until finally you have something of great beauty and rarity. Amazing, amazing, the messages that we get just from nature. As the most revered of all gems, way before there were diamonds and way before there were other gems, because in order to appreciate a diamond, you had to have tools. You had to have the kinds of really advanced tools that could cut and facet a stone. And of course, that didn't come along for hundreds and hundreds of years. So way back before the invention of tools or anything, there was the pearl. In the jewelry trade, there is a system for grading pearls. Just like many of you may know with the diamonds, it's the 4 C's, and you learn about the 4 C's to understand the value of a diamond. In pearls, there are 6 criteria that are used to evaluate pearls. And those are size, shape, luster, color, orient, and surface perfection. Pearls come in all different sizes and shapes and colors, and no 2 pearls is alike. Just like us. In the world of pearls, these Baroque shapes are cherished. They are set in beautiful jewelry. They are sought after by designers. They are used in interesting ways. And no matter what shape or what size, each pearl is valuable, and each has appeal. And I loved that. I loved that they had all this personality and individuality. And that's the same as we are. Very few of us are perfect round pearls on a strand. We're not all exactly alike and symmetrical. We have uniqueness. We have personality. We have individuality. And there's only one of each one of us. And so in the same way that Baroque pearls are celebrated, I thought, why not celebrate ourselves? Let's celebrate ourselves for being so different. Each one of us, so beautiful, so unique, so different, only one of us. And there's a good chance that I'm not going to look like Christy Brinkley, and I'm not going to look like Kate Moss, and I'm not going to look like a lot of the different images that are held up before us as ideal, but I am going to really look like the perfect Baroque Mary Olsen Kelly.
You gave the 6 criteria for grading them. There was one I didn't have anything that I could figure out what it is, like Orient.
Okay, Orient is such a good one. Orient is this, when you look at a high quality pearl, Orient is the criteria that makes you feel as though you're looking into that pearl. So it's almost like a little crystal ball. It draws your eye past the surface and actually into the pearl itself. And the Orient it's this amazing, actually the pearl is made up of calcium carbonate crystals. And so they're really crystals and they reflect light. So like the light, it comes into the pearl from outside and then it's reflected around inside the pearl, bouncing off these crystals inside. And that glow that results is called the Orient. So, so when I talk about people in Orient, what I would say is that, we also take in the light of God, the light of Spirit, and we bounce that around inside of us, and then we share it back with the world. And some people are really great. They have charisma, and they have lots of love to share. And that type of person, I would say, has excellent Orient. Thank you so much, everybody.